Hello everyone, this is Rakesh. Today I'm going to talk about BGP attribute. That is very important question often asked by interviewer for the network engineer role. So if you're going to participate in any kind of interview for the network engineer, you should know the BGP attribute very well. This is a very very important question. So let's talk more on BGP attributes. If I'm talking about, there is a total 8 attributes I mentioned here, right? First one is like wait, right? So this is a Cisco proprietary protocol, and this is not we cannot configure in other than Cisco like Juniper or Aruba or any other router, right? So we cannot configure. And so let's read it out what it's saying. Default by default it is zero for right, but 32768 for the locally originated route it mentioned, right? So that is what meaning locally originated route is always preferred. So that it is what it is saying, right? And and it is used only it is local to router. This is not global in autonomous system. So one it applying only suppose that there is only one router going to ISP, and there's two ISP connected to the same router. In that condition, weight will work. So let's not more much talk about weight attributes. Now talk about the local preferences, right? So local pref is like a well-known discretionary protocol, right? Type is well-known discretionary, and default is 100, right? And highest local preference is wins always, right? In what it mean, we use local preferences for the outgoing traffic. So that is meaning the traffic going to I internet or eBGP neighbors. In that condition, we use the local preferences, and its default is 100. We suppose that so let's read it out first. This is the most common way to influence the traffic leaving your network, unlike weight, right? In weight, as I said, it's only locally, but in local preference, suppose there is three or four or five router, and those are connecting to the ISP. Wherever we configure the highest local preference, that path will be preferred. So that is simple, right? And what does it mean locally originated? So locally originated, let's read it out. Internal BGP logic, right? And locally originated, you can say locally originated route are preferred over the learned route. So what it mean locally route? I mean in command we can see when you see the route table, it will whatever is I that represent the locally originated route. And if router itself generated the route, you can say via network command. Suppose that when we configuring the any BGP neighbor, mbgp neighbor, we building an ebgp neighbor, then what we do, router BGP, then suppose as number is 6522. In that when we configure network, so network 10.10.10.0/24. So that is the we are configuring a specific, and that route will be in the in I, and that will be route is locally generated. So that we can say AS path length. This is a very very important attribute. So this is simply we use for the incoming traffic, right? So this is a well-known mandatory uh, 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 attribute, and always shortest path win. So let's read it out. This BGP's version of hop count. This is the BGP's version of hop count, but it counts autonomous system instead of individual router. So hope you understand it. It count autonomous system instead of individual router. If path goes through a goes through two autonomous system, and path B goes through five autonomous systems, so a path will be chosen, a path will be preferred in that condition, right? And this is the primary attribute used on the global internet, so, right? So eighth, some I think most of the very most important question is like what is the AS path prepending. So that is what we use, AS path prepending. If we If we try to configure and make we try to pretend like there's a multiple AS number for the incoming traffic, like we pretend, suppose that when we defining the AS number, so we define AS prepend and multiple, suppose there is AS path number is 3255, so we can configure 3255 3255 3255 multiple times. So when traffic coming from the neighbor, it will get confused and do not follow that part. And so that is what we can use for the manipulation of the traffic, incoming traffic. So that is very important, right? And let's talk about origin type. This is a also well-known mandatory mm, attributes. So in that condition, rule iBGP, always rule iBGP. Again, I was discussing on I and EBGP, right? An external gateway protocol, and incomplete, that means what the traffic is coming from, redistributing from, suppose that we are, it's for the BGP, so traffic from the OSPF or EIGRP, those are less preferred. So that is what it was trying to say. You can see, you can read it out. I will add this document in my video also, so you can take a look on there, from there. And MED, right? So this is the meaning multi-exit discriminator. This is also incoming traffic, and this is non optional is this is optional, right? And this is used to influence the inbound traffic from neighbor. Yes, you send the MED value to your neighbor to say, I have two links, please use this one with the lower MED to send the data to me. So neighbor can chosen to ignore this, it's optional, right? So I never seen this attribute used, but this is also, that is why we use the optional. Mostly we use ACE path preprint for the incoming traffic, and eBGP over iBGP. So this is also very important path type. So eBGP always preferred over iBGP, internal gateway protocol, internal border gateway protocol. So let's read it out. It will be very cleared information. If router learn the same route from the neighbor outside, it's network eBGP, and neighbor inside the network, that is IBGP. Okay, it's explaining what is iBGP and what is the eBGP. It will choose the external neighbor. It's generally better to get out the traffic from a network as soon as possible. That is why it's choose eBGP over iBGP. That is what it was trying to say. And again, it is trying to say iBGP metric. So let me read it out. Type internal metric, and I never seen this. This is not very important. I never. I mean, I attended multiple interview for the network engineer, but never asked by such question like iBGP metric over next hop. Right. So let's see. Well, let's read it out. Lowest IGP metrics to BGP next hop win, right? So lowest BGP metric win to BGP next hop, right? If everything above is tie, BGP look at your internal routing protocol like OSPF, ISP. It chosen the path where exit router next hop is the physically closer according to the internal network cost. That is what it is trying to say. And let me summarize what we discussed for now. So I mentioned here, in order, there's eight attributes mentioned here: weight, local preference, originate, ACE path preference, origin, MED, neighbor, and IGP cost. So you can see it's mentioned what, which one is preferred. Highest weight is preferred, highest local preference is preferred, local is locally learn is more preferred, shortest ACE path is preferred, iBGP preferred over eBGP, right? Over incomplete, here you can see MED lowest preferred, eBGP preferred over iBGP, and IGP cost is always lower. So that is what it was trying to say. So that is all for my video. Thank you so much for your time. I will make another video next session. Thank you so much.